Hi, everyone. My name is Glacier F. Samuel, recorder of your union. It's great to see so many members joining us for our third Town Hall General Membership Meeting for 2023. We're excited to welcome you to our Town Hall, which is about informing and empowering our membership. We have lots of new and exciting opportunities, whether it be scholarship programs or free online courses to share with you tonight. Plus, if you stay with us for the entire call, you'll have a chance to win a Samsung tablet. We'll have more details on that later. We've dialed thousands of members from different workplaces, sectors, and cities. So we thank you for your patience as we connected to everybody. Tonight, we will hear from President Wayne Hanley about the latest union news and member opportunities, including upcoming Loblaws, Grape Food, and Superstore negotiations, and the current Unifor Metro strike. Secretary-Treasurer Kevin Benn will also be on the line to provide a summary of the local's 2023 audited financial statement. We will also hear from Health and Safety Representative Rick Young about how workers can better protect themselves at work. Tonight, we also hope to hear from you. Telephone operators are standing by to take down your questions and pass them on to us. To ask a question, all you have to do is press star 3 on your telephone keypad. Make sure to give your full question, name, and where you work to the operator, who will then pass them on to us. Again, press star 3. So questions about individual workplaces will be forwarded to your union representative, who will contact you no later than tomorrow night with an answer. As we have done in the past meetings, we will post an audio file, meeting transcript, and meeting minutes to our union website. During each telephone town hall general membership meeting, members vote to adopt the minutes of the previous meeting. So let's get started. We'll be taking a vote for the adoption of the minutes of the telephone town hall general membership meeting as posted on our local union's website and held on April 18, 2023. Use your telephone keypad to participate in the vote. And so the question before you is, do you approve of the minutes of the telephone town hall general membership meeting held on April 18, 2023? Press 1 if you approve of the minutes for the meeting held on April 18, 2023. Press 2 if you do not approve of the minutes of the April 18, 2023 meeting. Once again, press 1 if you approve of the minutes. Press 2 if you do not approve of the minutes. As we wait for the results, I want to let you know that your union recently sent out a copy of our union magazine, 1006 Alive. Your home, sorry. The magazine features columns from President Wayne Hanley and Secretary-Treasurer Ben. It also highlights the latest news and initiatives that our union is involved in. If you have not received your union magazine, please visit our website, UFCW1006a.ca, to update your contact information with your current mailing address. We mail 2 issues of to the members annually, and we want to make sure that you receive it. So the results are in, and the minutes of the April 18th, 2023 telephone town hall meeting has been adopted. 90% approve of the minutes. I'd like to remind you that the telephone operators are standing by to take down your questions and pass them on to us. To ask a question, all you have to do is press star 3. Also, as a quick reminder to our membership about our membership contest, members who stay on the line for the entire call will have a chance to enter a draw and win a Samsung tablet. Congrats to Catherine Samarilli from No Frills, Hagerville, who was our contest winner from our April meeting. So stick around and you'll have a chance to enter to win. Now it's my pleasure to introduce Secretary Treasurer Kevin Ben, who will present the local's 2022 audited financial report.
Thank you, Glacier, and good evening, everyone. It's great to join all of you on the line tonight to provide a summary of the local's 2022 audited financials. Responsible financial management is a core guiding principle at our local union, which ensures us to continually meet the evolving needs of our membership and provide outstanding union representation. Each year, an independent auditing firm audits the finances of the local union and presents their findings to the local union executive board. The 2022 audited financial statement was presented, reviewed, and approved at the local union's executive board meeting in June. At a time of increasing corporate power and influence, a strong financial position ensures our local is able to aggressively advocate for our members' interests and take on the challenges we face. In 2022, we were able to return to more and more in-person events, and as a result, expenses we hadn't seen since the COVID outbreak returned to our balance sheet. We were able to schedule our first in-person stewards conference since 2019. Nearly 220 participants attended the conference and heard from inspiring and informative speakers. Just as important, they were able to reconnect and to re-engage in person with other stewards that they may not have seen in nearly 3 years. Our negotiating committees were also able to return to more in-person negotiations. Although the Zoom sessions served their purposes during the pandemic, I am a firm believer that in-person negotiations is by far the best process. The local union had engaged in many sets of negotiations in 2022, the largest being with No Frills, representing nearly 12,000 members. That negotiating committee was able to achieve a very strong contract for our members with significant improvement in wages, as well as shorter wage progressions for our part-time members, ensuring they got to the end rate faster and earned more while doing so. Those of us who were able to attend enjoyed the return of in-person events such as conventions, Labor Day marches, rallies, as well as pride events across the province. These are all great events that only strengthen our local union and the members we represent. But as I mentioned earlier, the return to in-person events comes with a return of expenses that we hadn't seen in some 3 years. Staying the course with our responsible financial management strategies, and despite the overall volatility of the financial sector in 2022, I'm pleased to report that the finances of the local union continue to remain stable and healthy, which allows us to support and service our members at the levels that they are accustomed to and frankly deserve. Every year, we carefully plan our activities in order to operate the local union on a balanced budget. As you know, revenue for the local union is primarily generated through membership dues, initiation fees, and investment income. In 2022, the local union saw revenue of $17,327,606. This was down somewhat from 2021, given challenges we faced in the investment marketplace and return on investments. However, the total expenses that we realized in 2022 were $16,478,265, which resulted in a positive excess of revenue over expense position. Our investment portfolio as of December 31, 2022 held $30,440,434, which was up significantly, about $1 million from December 2021. When we combine our fixed assets, such as the value of our office building and equipment in Woodbridge, to our cash and our investments, the total local union net assets as of December 31, 2022 are $40,265,603. I am proud of the work we continue to do in maintaining and growing a strong and dynamic union, which has a brilliant track record of supporting and representing our members. I'd like to conclude tonight I'd like to conclude my report tonight by restating that we continue to be very mindful of our expenses and are making the prudent financial decisions that allow us to be responsible while being aggressive in ensuring that the needs of our members are being met, if not exceeded. I'm also very proud to say that each and every day, our staff are striving to give you, our members, the best service and union experience available to anyone, anywhere, and they are doing it. I'd like to thank you all for sharing this time with me tonight. Back to you, Glacia.
Thank you, Kevin, for your report. I'll now move to adopt the Secretary-Treasurer's 2022 Audited Financial Report as just presented by Secretary-Treasurer Ben. So please get ready to vote by using your phone keypad. Press 1 on your keypad if you accept the Secretary-Treasurer's report, or press 2 if you reject the Secretary-Treasurer's report. Once again, press 1 to accept the Secretary-Treasurer's report, or press 2 to reject the Secretary-Treasurer's report. Each year, we provide a summary of the previous year's audited financial reporting during one of our telephone town hall meetings. Remember, if you have any questions about the financial report, you can talk to your union representative. The results are in from the Secretary-Treasurer's report, and it has been approved 95% in favor. Thank you guys for participating. Now it's my honor to introduce the president of our union, Wayne Hanley.
Thank you, Glacia, and thank you, Kevin, for your report. As Kevin reports, our union continues to be in a strong, stable financial position to ensure our members' needs are met and to take on the challenges that we face, and the challenges just keep rising day after day. But I want to thank everyone for joining us on this summer evening, although it's raining where I am, just outside of Toronto. Thank you for joining us on the town hall meeting. Thank you for making this meeting a priority, and member activism is key to making improvements in your union contracts at your workplaces and in your communities. I really appreciate you taking the time, making the time to get more informed and engaged in your union. With more than 40,000 members, our local is constantly negotiating new contracts and winning improvements in a variety of industries. Thanks to strong membership support and the exceptional work of our negotiating staff, we're constantly making gains. Since our last town hall, we've ratified a fair number of contracts in a variety of workplaces, such as the Loblaws Maple Grove Distribution Center in Cambridge, Spring Hill Suites in Vaughan, Baton Rouge Restaurant in Ottawa, the Comfort Inn in Peterborough, and there are currently many other sets of negotiations that are ongoing. You know, over the last 40 years, I've participated in more sets of negotiations than I can count, and time after time, it's clear that membership support and participation is so vital to making the gains to meet the needs of our memberships. We need you and all the members to participate in the process, the complete process whether it's completing a bargaining proposal survey on priorities or joining a negotiating meeting. Contracts negotiations, quite frankly, affect your wages, your benefits, the scheduling, the vacation, and so much more. Essentially, it affects your life at work, so it's, again, vital that you actively participate. I'm pleased to report that this summer, your union began preparation for contract negotiations on behalf of 13,000 members working at Loblaws Great Food and the Real Canadian Superstore, whose contract expires next summer. Part of the preparation for the Loblaws Superstore negotiations involves forming a negotiating committee. It's being done a little bit different this time. Members will have the opportunity to elect 14 members to be part of the union negotiating committee. And you, as a member of the union that works at Loblaws and Superstore, will have an opportunity to be one of those people. This process will begin to unfold very soon, so I encourage you to keep an eye on the union bulletin board for details as more information is being sent to the store this week. In addition, we're looking to increase member activism at the store level through a member liaison initiative. At each of the 60 stores, we are looking to recruit 2 member liaisons who will keep members informed and engaged during negotiations and to strengthen solidarity. They will be key individuals who we can communicate directly from the bargaining table. We'll be looking forward to 1 member who works part-time and 1 member who works full-time from each store. Speak to your union representative if you're interested in getting more involved. And again, keep your eye on the bulletin boards and on your emails if you're on our activist list, because information is going out of the office now. During bargaining, though, one of the key issues we'll be looking at for Loblaws and the superstores is the dynamic scheduling, and specifically shift offer and shift marketplace. While the Loblaws would like you to think that this is the greatest invention that's ever come to retail, there are problems with it, significant problems that are violating the collective agreement. Look, we know that dynamic scheduling is popular with many of our members. And I'd like to get on the record that we do not oppose technological solutions that make shift switches or picking up extra hours a little bit easier for our members. However, what we do take issue with is that Loblaws is breaching our members' seniority rights to available hours through how it chooses to implement shift offer and shift marketplace. And the lack of transparency with the process means that members and their union representatives are in the dark when changes and violations occur. And we also know that there are managers out there who like to manipulate and violate the collective agreement. So we must stop this. You know, where members are not getting access to shifts that they're entitled to, it's our job to make sure that they do. Despite our efforts through multiple meetings with Loblaws and multiple grievances being filed across the province, the issue has not been resolved. An arbitration hearing took place in June and will continue later this month and into the fall. And if the issue is not resolved, we'll be looking to discuss and resolve this issue at the negotiating table so that your rights, our members' rights, and the collective agreement rights are preserved. Many of you may have heard about the strike at 27 Metro locations, which are former Dominion stores. For those that might not be aware, the strike affects 3,700 union members in Toronto and the surrounding area. Members at those 27 stores are members of Unifor. And as of today, these members have been on strike for over 2.5 weeks after turning down a recommended settlement by Unifor saying it wasn't enough. Now, this hasn't been the first time that Unifor has misread the mood of the membership in the retail sector. In Newfoundland in 2020, 14,000 Unifor members who worked at Loblaws Dominion grocery stores were on strike for 12 weeks after turning down a contract. It was a costly strike for the membership, which resulted in a contract very similar to the one that they rejected before the strike. Now, although Uniform is a large union, it's a small player in the grocery retail sector. Their grocery contracts have tended to follow the improvements being by tens of thousands of UFCW members who are leading the way as we make gains across the country. UFCW must continue to lead the sector, and that is what we will be doing against Loblaw in the upcoming round of bargaining next year. But keep in mind that the decision to strike is a serious one, and it requires thoughtful leadership and planning to ensure that the strike results in the gains that members are looking for. We wish the Metro workers well in their fight, and if you live near a Metro in the GTA that is out on strike, I encourage you to visit the picket line to express your solidarity. I've been on the picket line at the Metro store near my residence, and despite we are in different unions, we have common interests. So if you have the time, get out and support those workers and let them know that you're from UFCW, and we wish them all the best. Now, it's been a busy summer at the local union. I'm proud to report that our stewards training led by our education department has been a great success. We held several courses in May and June and trained hundreds of stewards from diverse workplaces and sectors across Ontario. Stewards training is integral to continuously strengthening our union, and I want to thank our stewards for participating in this training and gaining new knowledge and skills to better serve our membership. At this point, I'd ask Glacier to share some comments that we received from some of our stewards. Glacier?
Thanks, Wayne. So we did get some great feedback from our stewards. I'll read a couple of the comments. The first is from Jonathan Bautista, who works at Canadian Linen and Uniform Services. So Jonathan says, I became a steward because I like helping others, as it brings me happiness to make a difference. The course has been very informative, and it explains properly how to do the steward's role. The instructor is very knowledgeable and has the experience to show how to handle each step. Next, we have Stephanie Taylor, who works at Fresh City Farm. And Stephanie said, I became a steward to better advocate for the workers and to prevent them from being taken advantage of. After taking the steward's training course, I feel supported and better equipped to handle members' concerns. So those are just two of the comments, Wayne, and I'll pass it back to you.
Thanks, Glacier, and thank you, Jonathan and Stephanie, for sharing your feedback. And they're just two of the number of comments we get at the end of the training programs. So what I always feel good at the end of a training session is seeing stewards leave the course, going back to the workplace, knowing that they have their union behind them and knowing that they have some 20 to 25 new friends spread out across the country the province, who are also proud 1006A members. We're proud of the exceptional stewards training program that we have, which empowers 1006A stewards with the skills and knowledge they need to advocate for and improve our members' rights and livelihoods. 1006A will be holding a stewards training this fall, and I would encourage all of you who are stewards to sign up. I'm pleased to report that nearly 200 stewards have registered for our annual Stewards Conference. This event will feature inspirational speakers and educational presentations to help stewards better assist members in their workplace. It's a great opportunity for our union activists to meet other stewards, learn from each other, and build strength. Now, if you live in the GTA, Greater Toronto area, on September the 4th, I want to invite you to join us in downtown Toronto for the annual Labor Day Parade. It's an amazing opportunity to come together and celebrate what workers have achieved and reaffirm our commitment to standing up for worker rights and issues. It's also a great opportunity to meet fellow workers and union staff. Now, if you register in advance for the Toronto Parade, you and your family can receive wristbands that will gain you free entrance to the Canadian National Exhibition, the CNE. So visit our website, UFCW1006A.ca, to register your participation. Now, if you're outside the GT area, there are various Labor Day events, from parades to picnics, that are scheduled in communities across Ontario, and I'd encourage you to check our website for the events that are happening in your community. I'd like to take a moment tonight and congratulate our young workers for participating in the UFCW Canada's Young Workers Internship Program, which we know as YIP. YIP is a leading training and education program for young workers interested in labor and social justice issues. This year, we were fortunate enough to have a record number of 8 1006A members participate in the program, deepening their knowledge and commitment to the work that we do to build fairer workplaces and communities. I look forward to seeing these 8 people get even more active, involved in the union in the months ahead. I'm also pleased to report that 1006A observed the National Indigenous History Month this June. The month was about honoring the achievements and contribution of Canada's First Nation, Inuit, Métis communities, and reaffirming our commitment to seeking justice and achieving reconciliation. In addition, the local union created a rest display outside of our office to remember missing and murdered Indigenous women. Next, I'd like to remind members about our 1006A scholarship program. We award 42 scholarships worth $1,006 each year. Now, the deadline is just around the corner. It's on September the 30th, so make sure to submit your applications. The program is open to members and or dependent children of our members. You can apply online. It just takes a few minutes. So visit our website at UFCW1006A.ca. And finally, our WSIB department continues to make a difference in the lives of injured workers by ensuring they get a compensation they are entitled to. I'd like Glacier again to report on a recent case that the local union was successful in. Glacier?
Thank you, Wayne. We're proud to feature a story of our member, Sean. After the Workplace Safety and Insurance Board, or WSIB for short, denied his case, Sean, who works at a restaurant in Oshawa, was at a crossroads between getting an essential surgery for his workplace injury or potentially losing his housing. The board's decision meant he was not entitled to lose income for his workplace injury, funds that were critical to help him cover costs during the surgery and recovery period. Thanks to the assistance of 1006A's WSIB department, Sean won his case. Here's what Sean had to say about the union's help.
My name is Sean. I work at Swiss Chalet on Stevenson Road in Oshawa. I was severely stressed out. I was worried because I knew I needed the surgery and I knew that I couldn't afford to be off work with no income. And I didn't know what I was going to do until I actually reached out to the union and knew that there was help there through the union to help me with this process. Well, they helped me out a lot, actually, with my appeal against WSIB. If it wasn't for them, I don't know what would have happened if I would have won my case. They know what they're doing. They know the proper paperwork to file, questions to ask, and I would definitely recommend that if anybody's having issues, to definitely contact them. Thank you, UFCW. Definitely made a difference.
Wow, what a powerful story. Thank you, Sean, for sharing it with us here tonight. And I'm so proud of the work that our union does to support injured workers when they're forced to face off with a callous WSIB bureaucracy that doesn't treat workers with the dignity that they deserve. 1006A is dedicated to advocating for injured workers and protecting our members' health and safety. And as Sean has shared with us here tonight, the union is there to help you, and we can get positive results. And on that note, Glacier, I'll turn it back over to you and our special guest.
Thanks again, Wayne. So next up, I'm excited to welcome Rick Young from UFCW 1006A's Health and Safety Department for a conversation on health and safety at work. Welcome, Rick.
Thank you, Wayne and Glacier. It's good to be here.
So, Rick, first question would be, what if a member notices a health or safety issue in their workplace or feels unsafe?
So once a hazard's been identified, the worker should consider if they've been trained on how to contain and or eliminate it, and if not, they need to get help. So don't leave a hazard unattended if there's no immediate danger to yourself or others, as leaving can cause an accident or injury to someone else who's not aware of it at the time. If you're alone and you need help, try calling a coworker. Most workplaces are going to have procedures in place to help alert others of hazards, things like signs, lights, lockout, tagouts, etc. And if this is the case, then follow the correct procedures before leaving to find help. If the hazard cannot be contained or eliminated and you feel it's unsafe to continue working, or if you're in doubt, then this is where the worker's right to refuse should be initiated. If a worker is reason to believe that the work endangers their health and safety, they should promptly report the reasons for their work refusal to their supervisor. The worker would remain in a safe place as close as possible to their work area, and a health and safety representative, a unionized health and safety representative, should be called to attend immediately. Supervisor then investigates along with the worker and the health and safety rep, where it's going to be determined whether the worker has reasonable grounds to refuse the work. And if deemed safe, the worker can return to work. And if the worker still feels unsafe, they can refuse to return to work, in which case the Ministry of Labor would then be contacted by the employer, and a second investigation with the ministry then occurs. So if another worker's assigned to do what was believed to be an unsafe task or to complete the task, that worker also must be made aware of the refusal. And the worker who refused the task originally may stay close to their work area for the remainder of their normal hours, or they might get assigned to an alternative task by the employer, but that alternative task must be reasonable and not a reprisal. So once the work is deemed safe, the worker can then return to work.
Great. That's good information to know. The second question that I think a lot of workers have are, what are 5 health and safety tips that you could share?
So not really in any particular order, but I would say first and foremost, follow safety procedures, adhere to all the established safety guidelines and protocols. This would include the proper use of equipment, machinery, the tools that we use, as well as following the established procedures for tasks like handling things like chemicals or operating vehicles. Next, as I said, report all hazards immediately. If you identify a potential safety hazard, report them promptly to your supervisor or your unionized safety representative. This includes things like anything from damaged equipment to unsafe work practices. And next, I would say we should all try to practice good ergonomics, try to maintain our proper posture, see if the devices that we use, the chairs, the machinery, or the workstations can be adjusted to reduce strain, awkward positions, or repetitive motions. And also, we should be taking our breaks, stretching, moving around, especially if our work involves sitting or static standing for extended periods. And finally, I would say wear the appropriate PPEs or personal protective equipment that have been provided by your employer or recommended by your Joint Health and Safety Committee. This might include items like hard hat, safety goggles, cut gloves, etc. and then also make sure that those PPEs are properly maintained and used according to the manufacturer's instructions. And finally, just trust your intuition. You don't have to be a health and safety expert to recognize a risk or a hazard in your workplace. Just by doing our day-to-day tasks, we are the experts. And if something looks or feels wrong, report it, and don't be afraid to use your right to refuse until your concern is addressed to your satisfaction.
Okay, that's some good information as well, Rick. I think it'll be beneficial to a lot of members. The last thing I wanted to ask is, who are the JSC Committee, which stands for Joint Health and Safety Committee, and what do they do, and how can a member reach them?
The Workplace Joint Health and Safety Committee is a forum that consists of unionized worker members that have been appointed by the union and management members, and both these parties meet regularly to deal with any health and safety issue that may arise in our workplaces. The size and the composition of the committee can vary dependent on the size of the workplace. And the advantage to having both worker members and management meeting jointly is the enhancement of cooperation among all the parties in the workplace towards solving health and safety problems together rather than in opposition. So while management members may have a greater overview of company policies and procedures, worker members almost always have an in-depth practical knowledge of specific tasks that we do, as well as the day-to-day hazards and risks that we may face in our workplaces. So put simply, the role of the committee is to preemptively deal with any risk or hazard before it can cause an injury or an illness. And they do this by identifying and assessing the workplace hazards, recommending and implementing control measures and safety protocols to mitigate identified hazards, and to promote a culture of health and safety by communicating with our members in their workplaces. In most workplaces, the names and usually the departments of all Joint Health and Safety Committee members, they should be posted on a health and safety bulletin board. But if any members are unsure or they can't find them, they can always speak to their shop steward, who's often on the Joint Health and Safety Committee. They can speak to their full-time union rep, or they can contact me directly, and we'll get you in contact with your committee members.
Thank you so much, Rick, for joining us today.
Thank you.
So I'd like to remind everyone on the call, please stay on for the entirety of the meeting, and you'll have a chance to enter our membership contest, and the winner will receive a Phantom tablet. So before we wrap up here today, Wayne, I just wanted to know if there are any questions from the audience that we need to address.
Glacier, there's a number of questions that deal with workplace specific matters that, as you said earlier in the meeting, we'll have the reps get back to the members who have left questions within 24 hours. So, but I do want to, this one's not a question, a statement, and I think it's indicative of what is looking for from our members when we go out there and ask them or solicit what they would like to see in their collective agreements, especially when we're going into negotiations. And this particular statement comes from Roland, who works at Loblaws, and he says that I heard a lot of full-time would like to work 4 10-hour work shifts a week instead of 8-hour days, 8-hour shifts. So that would allow people extra time, and also it would save money in commuting, and it's better mentally for our workers. And I can tell you, Roland, that is a proposal that has come up at the bargaining table in the past and has been thoroughly discussed, and it didn't result in any changes in the way that hours were scheduled for full-time people. But, today's a little bit different, and, we have a lot of people that work from home, and our members don't have that ability to work from home. So workplaces and hours of work and scheduling are shifting. There's no question about that. This is the kind of information that we need from our members. So thank you, Roland, for sending it in. I'm sure that we will see it when we're out there soliciting from Loblaws. From our members who work at Loblaws, we'll see similar proposals, and they'll be dealt with by the negotiating committee. But it is so important that our members share with us what they would like to see in their collective agreements so that we can undertake to try and achieve those when we negotiate new contracts. And Gloria, I think that's it. I'll just say thank you to yourself and also to Rick and to Secretary Treasurer Ben for sharing all your expertise with us here tonight. I'll sign off by encouraging everyone to stay engaged and informed, and I hope you register and join us on Labor Day or Labor Day in your community. It'll be a great time. I look forward to seeing those of you who will be at the Toronto Parade. Thank you, Glacier.
Thanks, Wayne. And once again, I just want to remind people questions about individual workplace issues will be forwarded to your union rep, who will get back to you within 24 hours. You can find out who your rep is by visiting www.ufcw1006a.ca. Just click on the Find Your Rep button. Please remember that the audio file and transcript of tonight's meeting will be posted on our website for your convenience. As well, the minutes of tonight's meeting will also be posted for your review and to be approved during the next meeting, which is scheduled for October 17th, 2023. Now, for the final piece of business, our membership contest. So our last poll question will enter you into the draw to win the Samsung tablet. To be entered, just press 1 on your telephone keypad now. The winner will be announced on our website tomorrow by 3 p.m. Once again, to enter our contest for the Samsung tablet, press 1 on your telephone keypad now, and the winner will be announced tomorrow by 3 o'clock. Our website, if you don't remember it, is UFCW1006a.ca. And for those that would like to leave us a question or comment, please stay on the line. And I want to thank you all for joining us for our third Telephone Town Hall General Membership Meeting for 2023. Have a good evening, everybody. Meeting is adjourned.